A little intimidating, but I got this. I got this. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen, and if you're new here, this is a little corner of the interwebs where I sit down with you every week and share what I've been making, primarily knitting. I do some sewing. Lately it's been a lot of crochet. I dive into many different rabbit holes here on this channel, so if that is your jam, gather around, grab a cup of something, and let's get into things. But yes, I did skip a week of recording last week because I came down with what I think was a stomach flu. I did test for COVID, which came back negative, thankfully, but unfortunately, I was feeling very, very under the weather all week long. And it wasn't until about, I want to say Friday, that I started feeling more normal and like myself. At some point during the week, I posted on social media that I was camped out on my sofa, binge watching the entire season 1 of House of the Dragon. So thank you so much to everybody for all your well wishes. Yeah, the struggle was real. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm here today. It feels so great to be sitting down, chatting with you again. And yeah, I've got some stuff to catch you up on. I don't know, you might notice some stuff in the background right here. We're gonna get to it. But first, let's talk about what I am currently wearing. This is the Zweig pullover by Caitlin Hunter. And yeah, a really, really enjoyable knit. I knit this, I wanna say about five years ago, I think. I knit it out of my own hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, in my Nouveau base, which is a single-ply superwash merino fingering weight yarn. This colorway, the main colorway here, is my Voolenvine number 9 colorway, although I will say that I did tweak the colorway formula just a little bit to make it less pink. This is a lighter delicate pink than what my current rendition of Voolenvine number 9 is today. It's a little bit more darker, a little bit more moodier, but I still love this sweater nonetheless. It gets plenty of wear for me. I don't know if you can tell, but it is, I mean, the pilling is not bad, but I should sit down and de-pill it a little bit, but that's the nature of most sweaters, right? And the contrasting color up here is my Solstice colorway, which is just a cream white natural color with black, and it has mostly like gray and black speckles, but little pops of, I want to say, orange and brown in there as well. It's one of my go-to neutrals that I dye, and I love it. I'm thinking about dyeing some more for the shop update this week, but anyway, thinking out loud. But overall, just a really interesting construction. I mean, definitely held my attention the entire time. The yoke, I mean, can we talk about the yoke? I mean, this is just, it's so intricate and so detailed. It was definitely a labor of love while knitting it. And believe it or not, this sweater has a lot of memories baked into it because I did wear it to my second trip to EYF, the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And yeah, I just have a lot of happy memories of wearing it to that festival and getting to hang out with all my knitty friends. And anyway, yeah, it's one of my favorite sweaters. I feel like I say that about all of my sweaters or anything that I knit, but this one truly is one of my favorites. And so yeah, that is what I'm wearing. Marga the Mannequin, she is wearing my Nightingale pullover, a glorious pattern by Norah Gaughan. I feel like I've talked about this pullover at length in recent days, so I will pop a link in the doobly-doo up here if you want to go check out and find out more about this pattern, because yeah, if you want to talk about a labor of love, the Nightingale, yeah, that was a journey, my friends. So anyway, yeah, let's get into some crochet, shall we? Elephant in the room, you're probably looking over here and saying, Kristen, what's happening here? What's this business? This, my friends, is my new crochet granny square blocking board, and I found one of these on Amazon. You can probably, they have several makes on there, but this was the most, I don't know, affordable one, so to speak. There is one on there that was about $70 US that I was just like, I don't know, I don't want to spend that much on a blocking board for granny squares. I just want something that can do the job, and I found this one. This is, I believe, is a 10-inch or an 11-inch blocking board that, again, I found on Amazon for about, I want to say $30, $40 US, and yeah, it's solid wood. It's very well made, and yeah, it's gonna hold up, I think. But yeah, it comes with these little pegs. I don't know if you can see, yeah. Lots of granny squares, guys. I'm gonna get to it in a second, but it comes with these little pegs that you can pop into the little holes over here, depending on the size of your granny square, and you can, you know, block more than one granny square at a time, which I think is brilliant. But if you've been following this channel for the past few weeks, few months, you know that I've fallen heavily down the crochet rabbit hole, and I have been working diligently and monogamously on the fruit garden blanket, a wonderful pattern by Jane Crowfoot, and clearly I've been making a lot of progress. As you can see, I've been a busy bee with this pattern, and I just want to say that these are not officially blocked. In fact, according to the pattern, Jane Crowfoot does not want you to block the squares until the very end of the pattern for some reason. I don't know why, I didn't read that far ahead, but she says, you know, once you're done knitting the squares, just set them aside and we'll get to blocking later. So I just pop them on here just for safekeeping in the meantime, and just because it looks pretty. And I wanted to show you guys. I should mention that the pattern was initially released as a crochet along, meaning that every week Jane Crowfoot would release a clue. So you would knit one clue, and then the following week she would release another clue, and you knit along to that, and then so on and so forth. And I believe there are a total of 8. So right now I'm currently on clue 4, and let me see. This was part of clue. I'm just going to pop these off. This was part of clue 3, and these were the clementine squares. So far, these have to be my favorite square, just because I love the texture of them and the leaves and the construction. But after you're done knitting the whole square, she has you do this top stitching over your work. So it kind of adds like a little woven detail. And I just, again, like I love the texture of it and the colors. It just, yeah, everything just blends really nicely together. So yay, those are my clementine squares. And then, let me see, how many did I have to make of these? I had to make 5. So I have 5 clementine squares, and then let me see, these were part of clue. We're working backwards here. These are the columbine squares. So I think this was part of clue 3. So these are really pretty as well. Again, I had to make 5 of the clementine, 4 of the columbine, and then 8 of, let me see, oops, dropping things here. I'm just gonna pop you right there. Get in there, okay. And then I had to make 8 of these forget-me-not squares, which are these. Look how pretty, so pretty. And I have to say, guys, I never in a million years thought that I would ever get around to crocheting something as complicated as these squares. I mean, they're just so pretty and so intricate looking. And again, like I say this all the time, I can't believe that I made these. These are they're so pretty. So I'm gonna make 8 of these. And then, as I mentioned, I'm currently on clue 4. And these are the, oh gosh, not the acanthus. These are, I'm blanking on the type of flower this is supposed to be. I'll pop it in the down bar right here. I don't have the pattern with me. It's on my computer, but these just keep getting more intricate and intricate as the pattern progresses, and I really appreciate that. And I'm learning so much about crochet. I'm really honing my skills and, you know, getting my tension down, my gauge, and yeah. And again, this pattern it's a free pattern, but holy cow, so incredibly well written. I mean, the instructions are clear as day, and I truly feel like my hand is being held throughout the entire process. She even has video tutorials to go along with the instructions. So if I ever do have a question, I just hop on over to YouTube and look up the accompanying YouTube video. And it's just, yeah, again, a brilliant pattern. And I want to knit all of Jane Crowfoot's patterns in the future going forward. She's just awesome. I love her style, her aesthetic. I mean, this pattern in particular was very much inspired by the arts and crafts movement, particularly William Morris and his daughter May Morris. And, you know, look no further. I mean, the wallpaper in the background is a William Morris print. And yeah, I mean, my name is just written all over this pattern, and I, you know, am so here for it. So yeah, that is where I am with my squares. And the other thing that she has you do is, if you look at the pattern, all around the border of the blanket, you'll notice that there are these very intricate, detailed crochet rectangles. And, you know, looking at it at first glance, you might be terribly intimidated. I mean, I was. But as with anything complex, the best thing to do is break things down into small, manageable bites. And that's exactly what Jane Crowfoot does in this pattern. And I so appreciate that. So for these rectangles, I believe they're called the acanthus. Could be wrong. Leave it in the down bar, but with each clue, she's including a clue for the rectangle. So you're knitting the square, and then she has you do another part of the rectangle. And as you crochet through this pattern, these rectangles grow bigger and bigger, and by the end of the pattern you have a rectangle. So here is where I am with the acanthus, and even in this tiny little square there are so many layers to it. I believe, let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 5 rows already, 5 rounds. Yeah, and it's so 3D and dimensional, I can't get over it. So looking forward to watching those grow. I'm still on clue 4, so I'm finished with the squares, and now I'm moving on to these guys. So these, I have to make 8 giant rectangles, which, yeah, a little intimidating, but I got this. I got this. So that is my fruit garden blanket thus far. Again, patterned by Jane Crowfoot. I feel like I've just said her name about 10 times in this segment, so there you have it. And that, my friends, is pretty much all I've been working on since I last sat down and chatted with you. I know I have several projects still in the wings. I have my Intentions wrap by Not Bad Brit. I have my Mulberry Afghan by Tony Lipsy. Those are still active, like I haven't forgotten about them. I want to work on them, but right now I really just want to work on my fruit garden blanket. I feel like I'm on a roll, it's holding my attention, and I don't want to lose that. But I also want to finish it in time to take a crochet course that I signed up for called Homage to a Granny Square. And this is a course that I learned about through watching the Fruity Knitting podcast. About a month ago, Andrea interviewed, I'm blanking on her name, but she runs the Mercery. I'll link to all of this below down in the description box. Whatever I talk about in this episode, I will link to it down below. But yes, I was completely inspired to sign up for this course through watching the Fruity Knitting podcast, and it seems like such a fun course, fun and educational, because it's all about learning to play with color. And yeah, I mean, as a yarn dyer, I'm very familiar with the color wheel. I know how to mix colors and everything, but sometimes I find when it comes to choosing color palettes for certain projects, I get bogged down by analysis paralysis, if that makes any sense. And I feel like this course is really going to help me exercise that muscle. But the cool thing about this course is that not only are we going to be crocheting things, but she's also going to have us play with color. So there's going to be some painting, there's going to be cutting out of paper. It's very arts and craftsy, which I'm here for. And a lot of creative exercises. So I think that will really help, you know, broaden my color choosing horizons, because while I do love mauve and I do love sad beige and I do love black and I love grays, I feel like I could benefit from pulling from other parts of the rainbow here and there. So yeah, that is coming down the pipeline. So yeah, I'm just setting goals for myself. Finish the fruit garden blanket while enjoying it at the same time so I can take the course. And then also, yeah, eventually I will get back to my other crochet projects. But I will say, while I am dedicated to finishing my, I just realized this looks very, very janky. I'm just pointing to a board when really I'm trying to point to my crochet projects. Oh gosh, guys. All right, let me see. There we go. There we go. We've got ambiance. So yes, my main goal is to finish the blanket and eventually get back to my other crochet projects that are waiting in the wings, and then begin the course. And yeah, a lot of things to look forward to. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, I actually do have some planned knitting in the near future. I know. I'm trying really hard to be good, guys, but at the same time, I'm very tempted to cast on another pattern that was just released last week by the one and only Maxim Cyr. He just published a pattern called Moon Bumps, and I'm very excited for it. So I have the yarn picked out. It's over here. It's my own hand-dyed yarn. I have 2 colorways in mind. I haven't decided which one I want to go with yet, but one of them is Velvet Underground, and this is on my Smitten DK base, and then the other one is Sad Beige. I couldn't help it. I had to steal it for my shop. And the other yarn that the pattern calls for is Spin Cycle Dyed in the Wool. And I thought I had some dyed in the wool in the stash because, as you recall, I cast on an EZV by Caitlin Hunter. And again, another pattern that I have to get around to finishing. One of these days I will, but I had an extra skein of Dream State by Spin Cycle in this glorious color called Deep Bump, and I thought, oh, you know, I have all the yarn I need now. So we've got Velvet Underground and Deep Bump, or we have Sad Beige and Deep Bump. So I'm still trying to decide which colorway combo I want to go with. I'll decide. But in the meantime, when I realized that this wasn't the correct base, what do you think I did? Of course, I went on to Spin Cycle's website and ordered the correct base in this colorway, along with 2 other contenders that I'm thinking about. And I actually have a very good reason for casting on a new project, a new knitting project in particular, because with crochet, I'm still not at the point where I can crochet without looking down at my hands. And there are instances where I wish I just had something I could just knit on in the round without having to look, like keep my hands busy but not have to pay attention to them. So, you know, while I know I cast on an Oslo hat. Where is it? It's over here. I cast on another Oslo hat by Petite Knit, and here it is. And this is how far I got in it. And yeah, it's a very simple pattern, knit in the round. I don't have to focus on what my hands are doing. But as I'm knitting this, I realize that I regret my decision to add mohair. It's just, I don't want the mohair in it. It's just my own personal brand of crazy, so I'm gonna rip this out and repurpose the yarn or reknit it without the mohair. Yeah, I'm not feeling it, guys. If you don't recall, I did knit another version of this, a black version, and decided that I need a camel or caramel color version in my life as well. So anyway, gonna rip it out. So that is where I am with my projects at the moment, and I believe that is all the creative content that I have to share with you. So I guess this will be a relatively short episode, but just to catch you up on some life things, I am currently in the process of getting my driver's license. I feel like I'm halfway there, guys, because I did get the permit. Yay. And these past few weeks I have been practicing with Dennis, and this week I signed up for actual classes with a driving school. So I just took my second class yesterday, and so far, knock on wood, it's going really well, and I'm surprised. I'm actually really enjoying it more than I thought I would. I'm still at the point where I'm still trying to get my turns down. I have a tendency to want to pull the wheel like from under, and I have to get used to turning the wheel going over, not under. Anyway, but as with anything, I've been practicing, and the more I do it, the more confident I feel. This weekend, I have my 5-hour pre-licensing course, which should be interesting. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to catch you guys up on that. Anyway, really excited that it's finally happening. Thank you so much to everybody for rooting me on. I know I posted about it on Instagram, on my stories, and everyone's like, yay, you got this, you can do it. Thank you. It means so much. All right, my friends, I'm gonna end things there. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me. If you're new here and you haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe down below. I'm putting out videos for your viewing pleasure every week. And until the next video, have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.